It's edition 10 of the Blaincast, the Sunday Blaincast. Can you believe it's been 10 weeks? And this is something incredible that the whole planet is going through, and more to come. And music as a business is kind of shut down, but music as a therapeutic benefit, I hope, will continue throughout. And trying to do my part here. And actually last Sunday I had a few more lighthearted tunes. Now what I've done is, well, I wanted to say I'm calling this the Bluesgrass edition because I've had a problem with these old nails. I don't know if you can see them from there. Let's see. Well, you probably can't. I can't. And I'm talking, and I'm delayed. Anyway, the nails are gone. They're all broken off. There's a little bit of one left here. And so I can't play guitar like I'm used to. So, you know, you've got to change poison into medicine, as the Buddhists will tell you. And what a time for that expression. So my solution was to revert back to the trusty old flat pick. That might have been when I learned guitar. I probably learned with a flat pick, but really I always played with my fingers. And when I did play with a flat pick, I was also doing a lot of fingering. Somebody told me that was called the hybrid style. And so I'm a hybrid picker, but never really did much flat picking. But now the time has come. This is Bluesgrass edition, because bluegrass music is made for flat picking. And I went and I tried to dig up some tunes that I thought would work in that vein. I had to dig into the old, we got the House of Picks here. I'm going to have to go in here and find a suitable pick. Each pick has a little memory. I hardly ever buy these things, you know. So this is from 866-639-8354, whoever that was. And this one is from Jim Dunlop himself. Okay. This is a very hard pick that I would never even try to use. This is from Healy Disc. And in here I got something. Oh, there's a Long and McQuaid pick, a Steve's pick. But I guess the prize here, and it was given to me by Mickey Power, the doorman at Healy's. Oh, there go the picks. And I have got like an unofficial Jeff Healy pick. And it's the only one that's that shape in all the pick collection. It's a bit hard for me. I don't know if I want to use that one. Sheesh, now I have to decide. I could have done that in advance. This is a real tortoiseshell pick, I think. And it came from the beloved Daisy DeBolt. Now, this one is kind of softer. I'm going to start with this one, and I might work it up to a heavier pick. Let's play one of the tunes from the upcoming album. See a fortune teller said I'd write a hit too, but she also said it wouldn't be soon. So I'm sitting here scratching my head, hoping it happens before I drop dead. But I'm not worried, this is coming to me. I'll be winning that lottery, I'll be happy. Hear anything. Well, I'm not hearing anything. Is there anything in the way of comments? Comments. Sheesh. Oh, wait. I'm touching the computer screen. What am I thinking here? It's not a touch screen. This is one of the downsides of technology. So have I got anything rolling here? Are we hearing anything? I hear. Now here's one from a previous album, and I always thought this could have been done. I don't think we did it this way on the album, but I always thought this had a bluegrassy kind of thing. And when I spent a little time in Cape Cod, I got to know this fellow whose ancestors had been whalers at Cape Cod, Provincetown. That's a whaling capital of the world in its day, I suppose. And his name was Lloyd, and actually related to that famous actor Christopher Lloyd. And the Lloyds are a big deal down there. And the Mayos was another very important family in the whaling industry. And it's interesting that the current Mayo, he's not a young man anymore, but he's spent his whole life, it's almost like he's making up for the sins of the fathers or something, because he has something called the Ocean Foundation, and they're whale rescue. They've got whale rescue boats. They go out there, and that's what he's been doing all these years, is rescuing whales. I thought that's beautiful. Well, the cry of a whale can be so mournful. It's a whale of a cry will make you weep. But I cried myself into a deep depression till I heard that old whaler's confession. And the old whaler came to me in a vision one time, leaned over his hand. Many died to bring light into the village, 'cause the fuel was the blubber from the whales. So many whales on Cape Cod Bay out to Stellwagen. You could walk across their backs right to Boston. tail wagging. You could walk across their backs right to Boston. Back around 1825, I left Tennessee very much alive. But I never would have made it through the Arkansas mud if I hadn't been riding on the Tennessee stud. I got in some trouble with my sweetheart's pa. One of her brothers was a bad outlaw. So I sent her a letter through my Uncle Bud, and I rode away on the Tennessee stud. The Tennessee stud, he's a long, lean, color of the sun, and his eyes are green. He's got the nerve, he's got the blood, and there never was a horse like the Tennessee stud. My horse with a Spaniard's full till I got me a skinful of silver and gold. Well, me and the gambler, we couldn't agree. We got in a fight about Tennessee. We jerked our guns and he fell with a thud, and I rode away on the Tennessee stud. The Tennessee stud, he's a long and lean, color of the sun, and his eyes are green. But he's got the nerve, he's got the blood, and there never was a horse like the Tennessee stud. Well, I got feeling lonesome as a man can be, thinking about my gal back in Tennessee. And the Tennessee stud, his eyes turned blue, 'cause he was a-thinking about a sweetheart too. So we rode right back across Arkansas. I whooped her brother and I whooped her pa. I found my gal with the golden hair, and she was a-riding on a Tennessee mare. The Tennessee stud, he's a long lean, color of the sun, and his eyes are green. He's got the nerve, he's got the blood, and there never was a horse like the Tennessee stud. We're stirrup to stirrup, side by side, across the mountains and the valleys wide. We forged big muddy and we crossed on the flood, on the Tennessee mare, the Tennessee stud. There's a pretty little baby on the cabin floor, her little horse colt playing round the door. I love my gal with the golden hair, and the Tennessee stud loves the Tennessee mare. I'll get it. Doc, where are you? I gotta learn that Doc Watson lick. I can't. This song doesn't fit. None of these are really in the blues repertoire. So might have some blues fans watching. I don't know, but you'll see it's going to be more of this. But now we're getting experimental here. As I went through the list, there were songs I never play, but which I wrote. And here's one. And this is, I even had a bluegrass modulation to it. See if I can remember that. It's called Hairline Fracture. And once upon a time, the bluegrass scene here in Toronto, it was so exciting. And it was all around the Silver Dollar. That was the epicenter. And a group called Crazy Strings, which was just kind of a collective that has spun off into many a bluegrass band since then. But you went on a Wednesday night. I think the beer was cheap, and you could hear these kids up there ripping it up, playing bluegrass classics. And then I guess they were doing some original music too. They must have. A lot of great players came out of that scene. And one of them, I kind of went away, Dottie Cormier. She was somebody I got to meet a few times, and her group, I thought this song, I gave her a cassette of it. I said, you ought to do this, Hairline Fracture. I got a hairline fracture in my heart. Now, it never, I don't think she kept playing a whole lot or anything, but a lot of those Crazy Strings have had a great career in bluegrass. They say in the States, you know, that bluegrass, maybe you could play it if you're from Finland or Canada or even Russia, but being able to sing those bluegrass harmonies, those high lonesome parts, that is kind of reserved to a small select group of Americans, you know, Appalachia. I don't know, maybe some California people snuck in there. So, this is the one. This is a short thing because it's a kind of unfinished song, which will bring us to the songwriting session right after this. I'm not even keeping track of time now, but I did assume half an hour. This one's called Hairline Fracture. It's very much like Whaler, come to think of it. Maybe I was using the same chords. Yeah, I think it's an A too. I've got a hairline fracture in my heart. I'm not one of those fellas that just falls apart. It's just a hairline fracture in my heart. Got a hairline fracture in my heart. I'm not one of those fellas that just falls apart. It's just a hairline fracture in my heart. I've been through this all before. Pick the pieces off the floor. It'll mend and be like new in another week or two. I've got a hairline fracture in my heart. I'm not one of those fellas that just falls apart. It's just a hairline fracture in my heart. Funny how the memory works, flashing on the smallest quirks. Guess I'm gonna take my time, but I'll get you off my mind. I've got a hairline fracture in my heart. I'm not one of those fellas that just falls apart. It's just a hairline fracture in my heart. I've got a hairline fracture in my heart. I've got a hairline fracture in my heart. That, it is very similar, isn't it, to the Whaler? I'll have to make sure I don't do those back to back. So, now welcome to the Songwriters Session. I'm trying to split up the Blaincast into the live component, and maybe I'll even like have some kind of intro. Wouldn't it be nice to have a little slide or a graphic or something? But basically 3 parts: the live part, and then in the middle a little songwriting session. And we tried that last Sunday, and 3 people, friends, all popped up in the comments with some lines or ideas for the song I was presenting. Now, the hard truth about songwriting is that I couldn't kind of fit any of that in so far, but it triggers more thoughts in me, and so that 3rd verse is still not written for the song from last Sunday. Anybody that didn't watch last Sunday, it was a song that my political effort about Trumpism, and it was called the Press Secretary Blues, but then as it unfolded and got rewritten a little bit, it became more, what did I call it, Loyal to a Fault. So if you want to hear Loyal to a Fault, go back to volume 9 of the Blaincast. And now this is what I got, and because it's in a bluegrass vein, I'm going to play a little bit of this for you. I got a big old broken lattice up there, don't I? Sheesh, I could think of something to put on that. I know, maybe a sign. Like if there was a sign up there, that might block that ugly hole in the wall, as it were. And I could just, but I can't play and hold the sign, can I? No, that ain't gonna happen. Wish I had a way. Well, let's just see. I'm gonna have to get the word out somehow. But here's the song in progress, folks. So I'm not really seeing, with the setup I got, gosh, I can't even see Feather's comments or anything. But after the fact, I will be checking this. If you've got another idea for a verse, because now this one basically has 1 verse, and the other verse I'm just kind of making up now. The song is called "You Gotta Walk," and it's so it's all about It's a self-help song, and now you gotta walk if you want to be healthy, and then you gotta. I was thinking you gotta read, or you gotta. Well, that's something else. Maybe you gotta smile. So here's what I got so far. And I invite one and all for the songwriting session. Brian, write a song with Brian. And your people can talk to my people about, points and all that. This pick has turned out pretty good, even though I thought it was softer than It's a Long and McQuaid medium pick. Long and McQuaid, the musician's friend. Let's call that a PSA. Gotta walk if you wanna be healthy. You gotta walk if you're gonna get in shape. You gotta walk, destitute or wealthy. If you wanna be healthy, you gotta walk. Gotta smile if you wanna be happy. You gotta smile, just wipe that frown away. You gotta smile. I know it might sound sappy, but if you wanna be happy, you gotta smile. That's the forced verse, although it's a good thought. So try to think. You gotta gotta, if you gotta, one more time, you gotta. Ignore that ending, but you know, that's the other part, is maybe there's a bridge to be wrote. Anyway, I'm going to leave that with you, and here's was the best part of all of this, was when I put a gun to my head like last week, I said, or actually it was during the week, I made an announcement for the Blaincast, and I said I wanted to do bluegrassy stuff, and I was going to try. I first tried to change my song write a song last week into a bluegrass song, and that wasn't working. But then I had some music I thought was okay, and I went looking for lyrics in my database, as it were, and came upon the lyrics for a song called Loreena. Actually, it might have been called Lady Broken Heart or something at the time. I wrote that song after I heard about Loreena McKennett's tragedy, and well, everybody knew who she was, and then her fiance died in this drowning accident, and but more than that, Loreena was such an important figure in the Canadian music scene, the music industry even, because her negotiations as an independent artist really paved the way for innumerable others. And we're all so thankful to her for that. But she's so shy, and I knew a couple. We had some mutual friends. One was the producer of the album, or the engineer, Paul Eggs Benedict, who was a friend of hers from Stratford. And then her publicist also said, Brian, you know, Loreena would be kind of upset, you know, if that song about all of that came out. And so. And we had already recorded it, and I had played with it was with all the guys from Downchild, Michael Fonfara and Fitz on drums, Gary Kendall on bass, and I had written an epic. You know, it had a verse, and then it had like a thing where it changed around in the middle, because first we're talking about emotional, then we're talking about business, and I might have even had an intro or a bridge, stuff I don't usually do. But, you know, out of respect, I just put that thing away right then, when they both told me that separately, but around the same time, and I put it away. And it was never mixed, although there was a rough mix, and I went looking for it. So at one point in recent years, never found the rough mix of it. Couldn't remember it at all. My life depended on it. So now I had these lyrics, and I thought, you know, it's been 17 years or something, and you know, it's a bluegrass tune. Loreena will never hear it. We'll see. And I do it in the bluegrass key. I was really trying to respect all of this stuff, and the key of B is your B for bluegrass. Oh boy. Bear in mind, I wrote this basically last night, because the lyrics, of course, all got turned around to fit. And I got to play it basically as fast as I can. Good luck, Brian. Story that I think it's time to tell, how a waif became a princess in a tragic fairy tale. She lost her Prince Charming in the bay so deep and dark, broke her spirit, broke her heart. Loreena, don't put down your heart. a street musician busking in the square. Then she got famous, she was touring everywhere. She loved to play, but didn't want to be a star. Sad angel, she never meant to go that far. Loreena, don't put down your heart. An independent artist who would not be pushed around. Just ask the Warner Brothers how she stood and held her ground. She changed the music business, at least she made a start. A businesswoman, and she really played the part. Loreena, don't put down your heart. Well, I got through that, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the whole set. I'm gonna put up the sign one more time and put the pick back in the house of picks, and hope that the nail salons will be opening pretty soon. Like, could we start other parts of the world have nail salons, tattoo parlors? So let's hope Toronto gets the nail salon going. Although I should have done like Harry Manx and many other friends who just figured out how to do it themselves. But that is the latest, and see you next Sunday. I wish I've had a theme for every one of these. I wish I could tell you what the theme will be next Sunday. I'm holding the French set. I could do a whole French set, mais j'attends l'occasion. We'll see what happens. Thank you for joining me. Off we go. Oh, hey, I forgot something. I see there's some comments. Hey, it's Brian here. We're going to tag on a Campfire Cameo. I went back into the archives of my Campfire Jam, and I got, what did I get this time? I can remember it's, oh, sheesh. You'll have to see for yourself. I'm going to put it together with this, stitch them together, and put it on YouTube, and it'll be on my blog, TorontoBluesDiary.com. How's that for the last pitch?
I the river. The river was bleeding, I ran to the river. The river was bleeding, I ran to the river. The river was bleeding, bleeding on that day. Oh, and I ran to the sea. The sea was boiling, I ran to the sea. The sea was boiling, I ran to the sea. The sea was boiling, boiling on that day. Said I've been waiting, went to the devil. Said I've been waiting, I went to the devil. Said I've been waiting, waiting The definitive version of it is by Nina Simone, but I don't know where it originally comes from.
The Thomas Crown affair.
She might have wrote that song.
What you got? Key of G major.
Yep. A little G shuffle here. It's a song called Common Breeds. Change in me, oh.